What is up, real estate family? So today I'm gonna give you a POV shot, so a point of view perspective on this video today. So it's something very different. I'm sure you guys typically are used to seeing my handsome face and my hand gestures and the mistakes that I make and the shots and the cuts and all of that. But today I want to do something super different, and let's get straight into the video. Let me know if you guys find this super valuable, if you find the video interesting, and also let me know if this is something that you would like to see a little bit more. I'm always open to trying something new, something different. So yeah, if you guys find a lot of value in this, click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, as well as liking the video if you find a lot of value in this. So let's get started. All right, so real estate scripts for agent, the number one tip for success. So what script am I actually talking about? Are these buyer lead scripts? Are these seller lead scripts? Are these foreclosure scripts? Are these FSBO listing scripts? Are these cold calling scripts? No, it's none of that. These scripts are basically something that you can use for every day. Okay, whether you're at the mall, whether you on vacation with your family, whether you are waiting at the bank or in a line, or you're networking with someone, this is essentially a script that you can use that's really going to help you get someone interested in what you have to offer. Okay, but before you can figure that out, you need to diagnose the problem first. Okay, because if you cannot diagnose the problem first, then it's difficult for you to figure out if whether you can help this person or not. Ever so often I find so many real estate agents that they'll speak to let's say, for example, speak to around 5 to 10 people a day, and they realize that these aren't people that are qualified or people that are interested, and they feel like they've wasted their time. All right. And it should never ever be that way, because I do understand you want to get your brand as visible as possible to as many people as possible. And I commend you for that. But there's a smarter way of doing this. And this is a smarter way of literally just disqualifying people that won't necessarily be of good use to you, even though I do feel that each and every single person that you do get into contact with, or someone that you speak to, could be over either the phone or in person or just wherever you are, because we're people and we're always out and we're trying to close more deals and meet more people. I always say that you want to ensure that you do grab contact details, because they could help you in the future. However, it is always good to see if whether this person will be a time waster or not. And I'm going to show you a very simple, easy way you can actually, really mitigate this problem and ensure that whoever you do speak to, you literally find out instantly within 5 to 10 seconds if whether this person would be suitable or not. Okay. So here's the number one tip for success. But before we go that, I really need to go and dive deeper into why this works, and, really just changing your perspective and your mindset when it comes to these things. Because I've realized that most agents don't understand the mechanics and the fundamentals around persuasion, and also around just figuring out what works for them and sticking to what works for them, as opposed to just consistently doing things that don't work, consistently trying out methods that don't work, or trying out new things, or trying to get leads in a plethora and multiple ways. So maybe you're doing Facebook ads, and then you're also doing cold calling, and you're doing door knocking, and you're also doing list farming. So you're doing a lot of things, okay, but you're not tracking anything. You don't know what's working. You haven't really conducted a method of trial and error to see if whether what you're doing is working or not, because you're just focused and you're putting your energy into multiple things, whereas you want to focus on one thing and one thing only. Test it out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, try out multiple variables, and if that doesn't work, then move on to the next thing. Okay, so it's all a science at the end of the day, right? So what I mean by this is, if you are looking for buyer leads, then you want to choose one method on getting buyer leads. Okay, so if you want to try Google ads, or if you want to try Facebook ads, or you want to try cold calling, whichever method you're looking at, you want to stick to that one method and do not do anything else. Okay, stick to that one method and really try and do a multitude of things. Try different scripts, try different methods, learn from what other people are doing, see what works for them. But at the end of the day, do what works according to you, right? According to your market, according to your style, according to what makes you feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, if you want to generate more leads, one, you want to focus on one method, and number two, you want to literally learn as much as you can and then take all that information, extract it, dissect it, see what works, okay, by going out into the field, taking violent and massive action, seeing what works, taking all that feedback and going back to the drawing board and just readjusting up until the point where you find something that works. So let me give you an example, okay? When it comes to creating buyer leads, we've seen through Facebook advertising, okay? Only through Facebook advertising. Notice how I'm not speaking about Google ads or cold calling or cold emailing. I'm speaking only on Facebook advertising because we've consistently tested this all the time. We've realized what captures the buyer's attention is if you call them out in your first line, in your first header of the ad. So, attention Detroit homeowners, boom, we've got their attention, right? So we didn't know that in the beginning until we had to test it out, okay? And then right after that, we realized that if we create features that we know work specifically best for them, right, when it comes to selling the home, then we know that they will be interested. So for example, talking about the house is nearby to schools and it's just got features that helps it more on the family perspective. Again, we're looking at a different market. If we're looking at targeting families, we want to focus on homes that are close to schools, that are close to malls, that are in safe neighborhoods. We figured that out. Why? Because it's all a science. It all comes down to a science, right? So we've tested this, we've created formulas, and now that these formulas work, it really is just a matter of just adding in the information, creating the ad, and getting in the leads, right? And it works all the time because we've created a predictable system on how to generate buyer leads through trial and error. So the same should apply to you, especially when it comes to your lead generation efforts. You want to ensure that you are trying one method at a time and seeing what works best for you. Okay, so it all boils down to a science. And with the specific script that I'm going to give you, it works, okay? Because we've seen it work with other agents and it all comes down to this, okay? So I decided to do an experiment, right, where I decided that I wanted to engage with fellow real estate agents on LinkedIn because that's really a good way to network and really just get into the minds of real estate agents and seeing where their head is at. Now, the reason why I did this experiment was to show you guys how a lot of real estate agents don't know how to sell themselves or don't know how to diagnose a problem or see if whether there's an opportunity. Because remember, you want to literally go out there and find as many opportunities as possible. It's not going to come to you, okay? It's not going to come to you. So you need to always be out there, put your brand, put your business, put yourself out there, right? And seek those opportunities. Because if you're not going to seek them, it's not going to come to you. So I decided to engage with some fellow real estate agents, and you'd be so shocked to see how most of them don't really seek the opportunity and see if whether I would be interested in working with them. So as you can see over here, I've engaged. So look, I think I've literally spoken to over 300 real estate agents, and I can tell you now, none of them seeked an opportunity with me. Okay, I literally added them on LinkedIn. I told them, hey, I noticed that you're doing great things in the industry, and we just had a little bit of small talk in the beginning. And then I asked them the most important question. Now take a look over here, okay, through all the images, all right? So as you can see on the top left, Jed Gibson, very nice guy. I asked him, I was like, how is the season in Columbus at the moment? Is it more of a buyer or seller market? Okay, and he said, I would say it's a buyer market. And I deliberately didn't respond after that because I wanted to see if he was going to grab the opportunity and, see if whether I'd be interested or not. He didn't. Okay, same thing with Nathan on the right side. Same thing with Janet. Same thing with Rainey. And same thing, I actually forgot the person's name. Nobody went out there and asked me if whether I would be interested or not, or just seeking an opportunity. They didn't, right? And this puzzled me because I'm like, okay, so if you're not going to ask me for an opportunity, then how do you expect to, how do you expect to close more deals? How do you expect me, or how do you expect to get more leads if you're not going to always be seeking out opportunities? Like, I was so puzzled. I was really puzzled, to be honest. I was like, wow, you guys are not taking the opportunity of, seeking out an opportunity with me. I was really shocked. And that's when I realized that most agents don't know this. And is it because I'm a marketer, because I've got experience within sales as well, that I should always go out there and seek an opportunity, not in a sense where I'm salesy and I'm just this desperate person, who's just dying of thirst and trying to close someone. No. But if someone approaches you, right, if someone approaches you and is genuinely interested in what you do, you always want to ensure that you try and PK out their interest and see if whether they could be someone who could be a potential prospect. You never know. You honestly never know. They could be one of your top clients, right? Simply because you decided to take that risk and seek the opportunity. Okay? Now, here's the thing. The number one rule of engagement, and this is really going to be the pinnacle of what the video is about. Okay, you always want to be curious and ask questions. This is where you want to pre-qualify. And I see this time and time again where real estate agents are not pre-qualifying. They're not curious. They're not asking questions. Just like these people here, they didn't ask me anything, right? They just responded to me and that was it, right? Like, they didn't care about me. But I expressed interest. Like, I was literally right in their face, expressing so much interest, and they didn't bother, right, to, ask anything about me, right? So that's the number one rule of engagement. You always want to be curious and ask questions. In this industry, questions is what's going to help you qualify and figure out if whether this person is going to be someone that you'd like to work with or not. But most of them didn't. And guess what? Okay? These agents are the typical group where, for example, they struggle to close deals, they struggle to get leads, they struggle to get clients because they're not participating, right? They're not seeking out opportunities, okay? And it's very important. You always want to be curious and ask questions. One of the biggest queries I get all the time is, okay, why should I always ask questions? And they understand the concept of pre-qualifying, but they're like, wouldn't asking questions be, be too invasive? Won't that seem obnoxious? Won't it seem like I'm pushy? How can you be pushy if you're just having a normal conversation with someone? Okay? It's sort of like a doctor, right? When you go to a doctor and you're there for a reason because you're sick. Now, here's the thing. Imagine if you go to a doctor and before you even tell the doctor your problem or before you even tell the doctor what's wrong with you, the doctor instantly tells you, okay, I'm going to give you a shot of penicillin and I'm also going to put you on morphine to ensure that you feel better. You'd run away because you haven't even told the doctor what's wrong with you, but here is the doctor telling you what you need. So do you see the point that I'm trying to make here is that you as a real estate agent, you want to ensure that you ask questions so you can pre-qualify them and see if whether you can help them or not. Okay? See if whether, this is someone who could be a potential client or not, right? You want to diagnose their problem first. First figure out, if whether they're interested. And if they are interested, figure out, okay, what exactly do they need help with? And then that's how essentially you start getting them through your sales funnel. That's how you start getting them more interested in what you do because you are asking questions. And here's the thing, especially when it comes to sales, right? The person who speaks the least wins, okay? So you as a salesperson, it's not about blabbing about what you do and, how you can help them find a home. It's about asking questions. Why? Because you want to get to know them. You want to pre-qualify them. You want to be curious. Because the more they speak, trust me, they're going to give you so many clues. And let's say, for example, the person that you're speaking to isn't an ideal prospect, but he just mentioned that he's got a buddy who is looking to sell his home and he has, he's been struggling for quite some time. The fact that you're attentive, the fact that you're listening, you ask more questions and pre-qualify, all right? So the point here is you want to diagnose first their problem and then see if whether you can help or not. So without further ado, here is what you need to do, right? So here's the script, something that you can use literally today, tomorrow, or whenever, okay? This is what I've noticed a lot of real estate agents get in terms of questions. And it's also one of the reasons why I went back to the experiment and I asked this one question. How is the market? Because if you're engaging with people, if you're doing what you need to do, right, as a real estate agent, going out there networking and speaking to people and letting them know that you're a real estate agent, the first thing they're going to say, and this is what I've seen, okay? Again, it's all a science, right? This is essentially one of the elements. They're going to ask you, oh, you're a real estate agent. How is the market? Okay, that is what they're going to ask you. Now, you can either respond in two ways. You can either respond like this, right? Like Jet, and, say, oh, it's a buyer market. Or like Nathan and just say a little bit, but a strong growth. Or like Janet, so far so good. And just kill the conversation after that. Or you can be smart and diagnose their problem first by asking questions, by using the rule of engagement, right? Where you say, to be honest, it depends. Are you curious about buying, selling, investing, or renting? They're all different. Which part of the market are you curious about? Boom. Boom. Now, whatever they say after that, you'll be able to know whether they are going to be a good client or not, a prospect or lead or not, or someone who you'll be able to reach out to at a later stage or not, right? Because they can either say, oh no, I'm actually curious about selling my home. Boom, you're good. Oh no, I'm actually thinking about investing. Oh, you actually mentioned investing. Hey, I've actually been looking at some homes. I don't know what's the next process. What should I do? So that's the whole purpose of the script, is that it's something that's easy, but at the point here is that you are diagnosing first their problem. You want to see what issues do they have? What are they curious about? What are they interested in before you take the conversation forward? That's the whole purpose of the script. And this is essentially your number one tip to success, especially when it comes to interacting with people, okay? Whenever they ask you a question such as, how is the market? Because you're a real estate agent, it's something that they're going to ask, right? You just need to ensure you want to find out what are they curious about and which part of the market are they curious about, because that's essentially what's going to close you more and more deals. So I trust you guys got a lot of value from this. If you like this video, click on the like button, subscribe, and comment below for any questions. Cheers.